Welding magnesium is a whole lot of fun. Welcome to DMOP Garage, everybody. Well, in today's episode, we are welding magnesium. Dun, dun, dun. And before anyone starts saying, oh my God, it's going to explode into a million. No. What happens with magnesium when you're welding it, if you're doing it with a TIG torch, you end up with argon shielding the puddle, and of course no oxygen can get to it, so it will not ignite like most people think. Now, if you were to try to braze that or MIG weld it or anything else, yes, you would have problems, and this thing would go up like a 4th of July cracker. So what we've done today, we're just setting up. I'll show you what the issue with this case is. We have a hole, and you can see, if I put it up to the light there, you can see a little pinhole where we've had a whole lot of corrosion on the bottom side of the case here. That's the only spot that I can see has gone through, and we're going to attempt to just plug this up. Now, there is a hole on the other side of the case which is even worse than this one. This one really is just a tiny pinhole. So 2.42% thoriated tungsten, that's what I'm using. And we do have a special magnesium filler rod that we have to use. Now, that one rod cost me, I think it was about $40. So, I mean, there's plenty of rod there. Like I said, it's only a small little hole, but still, it's expensive stuff. So, yeah, you don't want to stuff it up. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do today. I've got it obviously on a piece of metal here, and as you can tell, it is close to the opening of my shed, because if on the whatever chance of it going up in flames, I can quickly grab it and put it outside here and let it burn. So let's hope that does not happen, because these 25 horsepower cases are not that easy to come by. So, but I'm sure we'll be fine. We're going to put some post-flow argon. This is the TIG setup here, which is my Everlast 230EX. So we make sure we have the post and pre-flow up before we even start the arc, and that will ensure that we will have a nice envelope of argon gas around our little welded area that we're going to do. So what else do we need? Obviously the helmet. We're going to re-die grind this now because it's been left overnight and it would have oxidized already. You know, magnesium is a really funny stuff. It just oxidizes very, very quickly. So we want to make sure we clean the area with some acetone and die grind this again. And also the filler rod has to be rubbed back with some emery cloth and also some acetone on that too. So we'll get that. Everything is clean. It has to be spotless clean for this to work. Now, I've never done magnesium welding before. I've done plenty of aluminium welding, and everyone says, yeah, it's similar to that, but the puddle's dirty. The material being that this is cast magnesium, it is a dirty weld. It's not going to come out pristine like you would if you're doing a normal TIG weld. So let's see how this goes. Fingers crossed, eh? All right, let's go. Okay, so we have the die grinder here, and we're just going to go over this area a little bit more. If it opens up the hole, so be it. Let me just put some ear protection on. Okay, that is about all we need. Okay, we'll bring it back over. Let's get the show on the road. Okay, so I've gone and just given it another die grind just to level that area, and I've turned the amps up to 70. I had it on 40 and it just didn't seem hot enough. So this time we are going to go with 70 amps. Let's see what happens. See how we go here. We're going to try and fill it up a bit more. Beautiful. That has worked very nice indeed. I'll see if I can get you in a bit closer just so you can have a look. There you go. So that's sealed up that little pinhole. We'll obviously do a little water test on that, but that has pulled up really nice. Really important when you're doing it that every pass you have to go back and re-die grind it, because now this has a dirty layer on it, and to weld over the top of that you'll have issues. So die grind it if you need to keep filling it. I think that's actually good enough. I'm not going to push it. Everything else on this case was A-okay. So we're going to get the other half prepared now. That was a lot worse than this. Let's see how we go. Okay, so this one's got a little bit of a bigger hole, as you can see there. So we'll just try our luck with this one. Let's see how we go. Okay, so unfortunately, oh no, this one's blown a big hole in it. We could be in trouble. We might be getting some more right, I think. Created a big blobule. I'm not sure if we can actually place that back in and see if we can weld it, but you can see there it's made a big hole. Not sure what we're going to do there. If we can try and build it up a bit. Go and give it another die grind and see how we go. Okay guys, so I've just done one pass on it so far, just a little blob along the side. I've got to go around the crack, but we're getting there. Hopefully this works. We're just getting into a bit of a blind zone here. I can't even get the torch in there, eh? Oh no, it's going to have to come in from here. Like that. So that's not even, there we go. Come on. Okay, so we're going to have to, didn't quite get down that side bit, so I'm going to have to die grind that now. Okay, take two. We're going to try and weld it from this side, just because I can get ease of access. I've die grinded it back. Let's hope we don't blow a whole heap of holes in it. Let's see how we go. That did fill it. So after a little bit of die grinding, I just used this little guy here, little die grinder, got in there, gave it a good little nice clean up, and we're good to go. Nice job repairing it, and same deal with this one. Just have a look underneath there. That one was only a very small one, but yeah, I'm stoked. That's one more job ticked off. Yeah, the next thing we can do now is we're going to get these back in the ultrasonic, give them a good clean on the insides as well, and then we can give them our light gold magnesium protection layer on the outside. So yeah, that's one job ticked off. Okay, let's keep going with the build. So one of the next things I've been doing is all the tinware. We have put it through a bucket of this awesome degreaser, this stuff here, CT14. Amazing stuff. You don't have to put much in there, and the rest water, biodegradable too. So yeah, so pretty much all this stuff here all needs to be sandblasted and then repainted. And yeah, we've just been sort of stocking up the sandblasting cabinet with some new garnet. Took out all the old stuff because that was pretty much done now, so we've got another fresh batch. I've done that modification to the sandblasting cabinet, which you can see down the bottom here. I've put my own little metering valve with a little air. You can just adjust the air. Sucks in a tiny bit of air through here just to mix up the media, and it just gets it to go through quicker. And the method that this machine came out was absolutely rubbish. Like, it just had it, the siphon suction just didn't work that well. So, you know, a couple of bits and pieces from Bunnings, and it's working so much better now. So yeah, we're just going to start sandblasting a couple of the parts. We've got these guys to do. They all need cleaning. We might as well get crack-a-lacking on these suckers. And we're just going to go through all the parts. So we'll do these ones first. Unfortunately, it's one of those things you can't really film inside because obviously it'll destroy the GoPro. You just have to do a before and after. So yeah, let's get cracking. Righto, out of the sandblaster. Yoo-hoo! Look at these suckers, eh? It's got some nice interesting writing on them. Weird little units. Anyway, we're going to crack these open because I suspect the fluid levels on these are going to be low. Also, we'll just check that bush. There is a bush there. I mean, look, I didn't see anything leaking out of them, so we might even just leave them because, you know, that's one thing. I don't really want to have to push bushes out if I don't have to. And there definitely was no leaks on them, so Let's have a look. I'll open one up, chuck it in the vise here and have a look and see what's going on inside. Yeah, okay, that's sort of what I suspected. No, okay, wow, none of these want to move. Nope, you know what that means, don't you? I'm going to bring out this guy, the punch, the undo a punch. We're good. Works well, that. Washers. Always got washers underneath these things, haven't they, for vibration? Now, I want to be careful that I don't go and wreck. Yeah, we'll probably just have to put some goop on this gasket because I ain't going to find that one again. And yes, it is low. But where is the level supposed to be? That's the next question. We need to get the handbook out and have a look. Okay, so I have checked it out. We've got our hydraulic fluid. We're going to tip her in because she's extremely low. And we just want to go up above that fill line. We are good to go. All right, some gasket goop. Just going to put a little bit around. That will do. Let's fix that up nicely, nice and stiff now. Then we're going to do the other one as well, because that's definitely changed the composition of this. And we're just going to leave that seal up and we'll retighten it later. Okay, good, good. That's going to be ready for painting. No leaks coming out the seal. Excellent. Now, yeah, that's a lot better, a lot smoother. Just freeing it up a bit more now. Beautiful. Happy with that. Okay, let's move on to, well, we're going to get those painted in a light grey. And I don't know, maybe, well, actually, Mark from Air Cult Berlin here, you guys should go and check his channel out. Get him up to 1,000 subscribers. Come on, boys, let's give him some love. But maybe, Mark, you can tell me what it says there and there, because I can't read German. Yeah, let me know, buddy. That'd be good. All right, we're going to get these things painted in light grey. Let's get them painted. Okay, those little guys are painted. One of the next things we've got to do is take our barrels up to Oven Boy's place because he's got the honer, and we're going to get these suckers honed and go from there. So let's get up there now. All right, guys, so we're here at the Oven Boy's place, and you can see we're doing some honing.
He's cooking up some shit.
Here's our barrels, and we're giving them a very light hone. They don't need much, but we're just, you know, being safe, and
We don't have all the right equipment, but this is okay. It's doing the job we want.
Yeah.
So we'll show you a before and after shot. Okay. We'll show you a before and after. And it's not ideal,
so this
but it's much better than it was, and it's drivable.
This is obviously before. So you can have a look inside there.
And the beauty of these things, they weren't worn very much because there's not much lip, if any lip at the top. There's not much at the top. There's a little bit, but
so we're obviously just putting that. You can see.
So that's our cross hatching. It's still not perfect, of course, but this thing's not going to do many miles.
Yeah.
We're going to start it. It's going to idle and pop, and that's what we started with. So it's just basically deglazing them and taking any of those, seeing if there's any pitting, and there's no pitting that's going to concern us anyway. There's a few scratches in it, vertical ones, but not too bad. So
All right, we'll get the other.
It will work. It should be enough. And if it doesn't, we pull the motor apart and put new rings and some barrels in it when we get them.
Yeah. How much were they again?
Yeah, $1,700.
$1,700 Australian.
Yeah, and we don't have
for
that,
4
so
barrels.
barrels.
Yeah, no.
So see this carbon here? Feel the carbon? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
scratch that off first. So I just use a Stanley blade.
Right.
Scratch that off. Put the score marks in it.
Little razor
Otherwise
blade.
it clogs up the home.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, up at the top there.
So
Yeah.
you can do that while I'm playing with this.
Okay, I'll get into that. Okay, one of the next things we've got to have a good look at is the inside of the distributor. Now this one, you know, it does spin, but rusty. It probably needs, you can hear it squeaking. It's probably got the original points in it too. But anyway, we're going to pull it apart and just have a look and see what's going on inside it and make sure everything is good. There should be some fibre washers in there for insulation. And yeah, let's go and pull it apart, see what's going on. I have not done one of these before, but they are, I would imagine, pretty similar to points come out first. And of course, as I suspected, everything is pretty much seized inside. So WD-40, we might have to let this sit for a while. Now outside, well, we can get this off. So that's a start. There we go. There we go, got that one. One bit of success so far. Man, that was tight. Now that should release the plate. And it does. So we've got nut washer, spring washer, flat washer, and then this little doovie wacky. Oh, okay, that just slips over. Well, that's easy. And you can take the bolt out with the clip. Good, good. Right, now we should be able to get this little retainer out. Here we go. Here's that part. Now we're just going to have to undo these two here to get the half of the points out. And then when we look inside now, we've got a, that's our insulation washer. Then we've got our shaft, and then I can see our springs. Yeah, everything looks not, oh, there's another little washer here too, that one. So that goes onto the plate. And then now, to get the rest of it out, we have to undo the bottom. Okay, so we're going to have a pin here and a funny little springy thing. And we don't want to mar this up, so we're going to have to be gentle. And then we've got that little spring which sits in here. We'll take that off the top, like so, and just wind it around like a spring. Be very, very gentle. There it goes. That should take off. Now we can get the pin out, I think. Now, that's that. We have two shims onto the tooth part, and then I think there is also, yes, there is also a washer that goes against the body. Okay, pop those aside, and now we should be able to just bring this out. And there's our fibre washer on the bottom, and also you can see our shaft here. It's not too bad. We'll give that a bit of a polish up with some 3000 grit, and I think there will be some shims here too. Yes, there is. So inside here we have a fibre washer, and I think that is it for the inside of that. There's nothing else inside here, so that's good. So that part's can go and get cleaned now. And of course now we've got our mechanism here. We've got some shims. We have 1, 2 shims on the shaft, on the bottom of the shaft. Okay, now am I going to pull the rest of this apart? I don't think so, because that actually looks pretty good to me. Let me take the shims out. We're going to go and chuck it in the ultrasonic and just get all this rusty crap off it. But I don't think this needs to be pulled apart, the rest of it. I think this is all, it's all pretty good. So let's go and dunk these parts in the ultrasonic, and then we'll see what they look like when we bring them back out. My hands are terrible. Why didn't I put gloves on? All right, so I just took that out of the sandblaster. I've just given this up a bit of emery paper. We're going to put some black behind the logo there and just get that a little bit kosher. Clean the inside. A little bit of surface rust in there, but nothing too major. We'll just give that a quick little bit of sanding. And yeah, start putting it back together. Just gave that one there also the same treatment. Got a little bit more rust in this thing. We'll just dunk it back in again, keep going. Okay, so what I'm working on now is just freeing. This was all completely solid. Popped it in the ultrasonic, and now of course we've freed it up. I'm just using a bit of this. It's like a synthetic lubricating oil, I suppose you could call it, but it works really well. You can see now I'm able to free this up, got the mechanism working. We're just going to pop the springs off and take off this top part of the shaft. I just want to make sure everything's good inside. It's going to be very, very careful just to take this part off. Just check it. Might need a little bit of lubricating. You can see here we've got our little weights. Yeah, they're not too bad. Some years of gunk on them. Little washers on there. Make sure they go back in the right position with their respective little washers as well. Yeah, that shaft looks primo, no problems there. A little bit of surface rust on this part. I'll make sure that this thing slides properly. Our little washers back on. Alright, we'll pop that on and call it good. Okay guys, so we've got this thing back together, and you can actually see here if I do a little bit of a rotation for you, the point gaps work. They're going back and forth, back and forth. I mean the gap's not set properly, but you know, she's working. Everything's nice and cool. Rotor button, you wouldn't believe it. I couldn't find a rotor button anywhere in the world. Like I found one $165 for a rotor button. This stuff's getting expensive. Anyway, yeah, so that's on the way. One more part. We're going to obviously spray it black, and you can see here I've already given it a, you know, that part, cleaned up the little logo. We'll spray that all black and then polish it back, so we've got a nice little chrome part. One more part ticked off. We are gonna leave it at that one. I'm going inside. It's getting cold. It's getting winter time down here in Australia. Down south here where we are, it gets cold. So yeah, rugging up. All right, we'll see you on the next episode, guys. Catch you later. You.